Hey folks, how's it going? This is the Mosky Plexi Pro. It's a pedal that I bought in a sale recently, and I honestly have to say that of every guitar pedal I've bought in my time playing guitar, this has to be one of them. Yeah, I guess that's the review. It is an pedal. So the Plexi Pro is supposed to give your guitar the sort of sound of running through a classic Marshall Plexi for a fraction of the cost. I think it's based on a Carl Martin pedal that is supposed to do a similar sort of thing, but obviously no pedal that costs sort of 35 quid at full price is gonna recreate the sound of, like, you know, what, a £1,000 plus vintage hand-wired tube amp. It's just not possible. But what does it sound like as a pedal in and of its own right? And that's what I'm going to demonstrate today. So first, let's just take a look at some of the features. Okay, so it's a fairly typical sort of boss size pedal. Comes in a lovely gold with a nice little butterfly. We've got 4 control knobs. We've got mode select, overall volume, overall tone and distortion levels. I'll get onto these later because it's not actually as obvious as you'd think it is about what they do. Big clicky switch, true bypass. Nice big jewel, which isn't actually, it looks like it's a classic amplifier power light, but it's actually just got LEDs underneath it. But it's also got the clipping LEDs underneath it, so in some of the different modes you can actually see the light flicker as the signal goes through the clipping LEDs. It's kind of cool. Power input and jack sockets on the top. No 9-volt input on this. I've had the back off and there's nowhere to attach one. And talking of the back, that's kind of disappointing even on a cheap pedal. It's nice that it comes with Velcro ready to stick it to your pedal board, but it's horribly cut, and as you can see, it's already picking up crud from the floor because I tend to cable tie my pedals to the board. But yeah, so I'm going to plug it in and show you what it sounds like. For the sound demo, I'm going to be running it into a Roland Cube XL. It's got a really nice clean sound, so you'll be able to hear the way that this colours the sound on something that's actually, like, really, really pure. So let's get to it. Okay, so for reference, this is the clean tone. Westfield Telecaster copy with Wilkinson pickups running through the Roland Cube. It's very... very pleasant. Okay, so that was mode 1. A very kind of classic rock kind of swaggering kind of vibe, you know. I would say kind of Marshall-y. Now setting 2 is, I suppose I should explain what the mode knob is actually. Basically, the mode knob is, I suppose the best way to describe it is a preset selector. It selects set, gain and tone profiles to give different sounds, and then you can kind of adjust them a little bit using the tone and distortion knobs. But we'll kind of get to them in a bit because I want to talk a bit further about them. So anyway, preset 2. a scooped mid kind of feel, I think. Bit fizzier, bit like crank the gain a bit more. I can't think what it reminds me of, but it reminds me of something. Setting 3. Again, it's usable. So 4 is slightly thicker. I think they all sound, as you'd expect, like the same pedal, like the same vibe, just different EQ and gain settings, which is what it's supposed to sound like. Now, it has these 4 presets, but it also has, as you can see, the gain switch. So let's see what that does. So yeah, pretty much whatever preset you've got it set on, it just maxes the gain out, or so far as I can tell, brings it close to max. My favourite one actually is gain switch on and set on 2, because it's got this real sort of I also don't know if you can see on the video, which I think is there, that whenever you've got the gain turned up really high on the gain switch and on 2, you can actually see the jewel flickering a bit. Because the clipping LEDs are in it. I think that's kind of cool. What's interesting actually is that it'll also clean up really nice. So like, it's if you roll off the volume on the guitar a bit, you end up with a sort of really controllable level of gain. You might wonder why I've not used any of the actual controls, apart from like the preset selector. And I know it's probably annoying hearing me keep going on about presets, but really that's what this pedal is. I shall embiggen the picture of the pedal and show you exactly what my biggest complaints about this pedal are. Okay, so here's our pedal. I'll just turn the gain down a bit. volume actually works as it. Volume is good. Tone. Tone works fairly well, but what really annoys me is distortion. Now, I thought this was broken, but a quick search online shows that pretty much everyone else has the same thing with the pedal, so I guess it's how it's supposed to be, but let's knock all the distortion off. So it's only from here onwards that we actually get any change in the level of distortion. So from here downwards, it's about as much use as tits on a frog. So yeah, as you can see, there's barely any point in messing around with the distortion settings. So I don't know, maybe it's worth experimenting with swapping it out for a different value of pot. Maybe that'll adjust things up, but may as well not be there for what it does. So yeah, and that's my biggest complaint, is that whilst it's a great idea, the lack of anything but a single pot tone control and no real control over the level of distortion that you have means that you're literally just relying on the presets. Now don't get me wrong, they're great presets, but they're nowhere near as flexible as the amplifier that they're trying to replicate. So the question is it a good pedal? And the answer is, I guess. Do I feel like I was ripped off when I paid 20 quid for it in a sale? Maybe wishing I'd spent that £20 on something else. But I don't feel like it's an egregious, anger-inducing, what the hell is thisness? Is it worth the money? On sale, yes. Not on sale, honestly, it's not. You can get these sounds from any number of wannabe Plexi drivers. Probably you could probably even pick up an original Plexi driver pedal second hand for not much more than this would cost brand new. I don't know. Nux or Nuex or however you pronounce it have a similar one that would be interesting to try in a shootout, to be honest. But I don't know. I feel there's more flexibility in a Boss Blues driver and a decent amp than there is in this pedal. Am I going to get rid of it? Probably not. It'll go in the pedal garden with all the other pedals that I bought and never fucking used. I can see it maybe coming in useful when I want to get a particular wannabe Malcolm rhythm sound for something that I'm recording. But yeah, that's that. Sorry to not end on a big high note saying it's the greatest pedal ever and I wish that everyone else could buy one. It's like that sometimes. So there you go. That's the Mosky Plexi Pro thing. You'd have thought after all these videos I'd know what the hell I'm going to say, but I don't. I'm crap. But you knew that, but you still watched, so it's your fault. But yes, it's an alright pedal. It does kind of what it's supposed to do. If you like any of the sounds in the 4 presets, then I think you'll be very happy with it. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm really glad that you do. If you liked it, put a thumbs up. If you didn't, then don't. If you want to buy me a coffee to help me buy more shit pedals, then not shit pedals, are they? They're just not right for me. But if you want to buy me a coffee to help me buy more pedals and coffee, then there's a link for that. Like, share, subscribe, blah blah blah. And I will see you next time. Ta-ta!